Gentlemen, thank you for being on my show today. Jigar, you are the managing director at Creative Zone. Steve, you're managing partner at Creative Zone. And you are, I would say, an ecosystem for entrepreneurs, and that's what you're building. So I'm looking forward to talking to you about that. But very quickly, you have over 36,000 clients. You were set up in 2009, was it?
Nine.
Right? And you're close to 300 employees. I would like to start off with a question. There are hundreds of, there are a couple of hundred business setup companies out there. So, what has Creative Zone done to kind of make the leap and become, the leader in the business?
I think, we started off in 2009, 2010, coming into the market with a product where we could actually help small startups, SMEs, get a license, get an infrastructure, and start their business. So we started this out through Fujairah Creative City, and we had a product. And back in 2009, 2010, the cost of a license was probably 2 to 3 times what it is now. So we came in with basically a license. We came in with a payment plan, and we also came in with an infrastructure through business centres and co-working places, which we established back then to provide something that no one else did in the market. And I think what's something we are known for is our transparency, is us delivering on what we say. And often we've found within our industry that that's sometimes a little bit hard to find.
Where did the seed to start this come from? What was the concept? What was the idea?
I think my business partner Mahesh, who is not here at the moment, he was doing, as I was doing setups from about 2005, I was doing setups through business centres. He was doing business setups like a small consultant, 2, 3 or 4 people. So we basically came together with his industry knowledge and my business centre and setup knowledge, and came together and ended up being a good fit to what we wanted to do.
And was the plan to scale to the level that you have today?
Well, I think when you look back, I think we're just sometimes just so busy and so in the business that we were just month after month. Yeah, to be honest, probably back in 2012, 13, 14, we couldn't believe it. I personally couldn't believe it. But we were so interested in delivering a service and delivering a product to the SME and startup market that sometimes you don't really think of ultimately where you want to go. You just want to deliver what you promise your customers.
And when you started out, did you raise finance? Did you have to keep raising finance to grow?
No, not really. There's initial investment, which in any company, which we have to do, and there's sacrifices you have to make to put that investment in, whether it's borrowing that money or selling something which you have, and that's what we did to sort of get going. But we're quite lucky that really after the first year we were starting to be cash positive. And so we could just keep growing, and the money we just invested in our infrastructure and our staff, in the product, in the development, and trying to get trying to be the best in company formation and business setup.
And do you expect to kind of maintain the same trajectory going forward?
I think the whole model's shift since the time Steve and Mahesh started. It started off being about company setup, and I believe over the last 3-4 years, we have strategically moved into exploring an ecosystem and delivering an ecosystem for entrepreneurs, be it whether tax and accounting services, legal consultancy services, insurance, payment gateway, and the likes. So the startup today does not want just a license. I mean, a license is a means to an end of those services, and what's important is we get that right, we get the ecosystem in place, and we continue delivering the service that we do.
The majority of startups fail.
Right.
It's well known. Have you seen that at Creative Zone?
Our data is very different. I mean, your renewal rates after first year are actually extremely high. It's probably around the 3rd year period or the 4th year period where you have a dip. But if you survive that 3rd or 4th year is when you probably are going to then succeed.
Right. So businesses are able to stick around. Most businesses are actually able to stick around for 3 or 4 years at least.
3 to 4 years, yes, at least. I think that's because probably people go in with that investment, people go in with that expectations as well.
So, because you're seeing all of these businesses firsthand, can we put some numbers on these? How many from 100 businesses that have been set up this year, how many will still be in business, in 2025?
You'd probably range your renewal rate from sort of 65 to 75%, depending on the product.
Yeah.
We have a big focus now on the Department of Economic Development, setting up DD companies where we provide corporate sponsorship and different vehicles to support the expatriate. It depends a lot of, so we're agnostic as far as the setup organisation, so we do free zone, we do DD, we have some offshore entities which we set up as well. So you probably look at a range from sort of 65 to 75.
Is there anything Creative Zone can do to improve that? Obviously, you as a business want to improve that retention rate, but then that also means that more businesses succeed. So is there anything, or what can you do to actually get more businesses to succeed?
So as a part of the ecosystem that we are building, growth is an important aspect of every other business, and it's not about just sustaining oneself, it's also about growing. So we have, as a part of the ecosystem, for example, pipeline, where you have lead generation, outsource sales, because at the end of the day, the success of the business depends on the sales, the revenues they bring in. So it's about providing those kind of services, communication and call center services at low entry points as far as the fees are concerned, and allowing these people to actually not only sustain but even grow.
So typically, do you find, companies that are set up by Creative Zone, them purchasing, 5 to 10 other services from yourselves as well? Is that a trend you see?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of our clients will partner with one of our partners for those services if that's what they're looking for. Absolutely.
Dubai has seen its ups and downs. There have at times been concerns about liquidity and, or jobs being lost and these kinds of things. What are your views on that? Do you kind of see a similar cyclical behavior in your business, or have you been able to keep growing?
Just due to the nature of our business, I don't think that that cycle affects our business as such, because when people do lose jobs or basically they're not very happy with the job they're at, they do tend to go out there and look to start their own business, become an entrepreneur, follow that dream. And that's where we come in. We support them, we help them, we encourage them to be an entrepreneur rather than being an employee. Go create hundreds of jobs rather than getting one job, and that's the sort of the mission vision we are on, is that to make entrepreneurship as easy as possible with providing the right services and the right quality to them.
Yeah, and obviously Dubai is an entrepreneurial place, right? So even at Insurance Market, every now and again we see, or I would say every day we see startups coming to us with, unique requirements for insurance to, to suit their needs. So certainly I think the entrepreneurial nature of Dubai is always vibrant at any given time. Recently we announced our partnership.
Congratulations.
And congratulations. I'm sure a lot of our audience are curious about what we've been up to, what are our plans. So, what would you want to say on that?
Well, a part of what we're talking about, and most of the subject today is about the support services we can give. Avinash, as we've been speaking for a fair long time now.
Yep.
Probably well over a year, and something that I think we were very impressed about, yourselves, is the customer service and the support that you give all of your customers, and the way that you treat the people, the staff, is something which resonates with us. And I think that was the number one thing which which attracted us. Secondly, of course, everyone who sets up a company will need insurance, whether that's private insurance or whether that's company insurance. And even personally with me, I had an example just even yesterday where a friend of mine, his wife lost something, and he goes, "Geez, those guys from insurance, Brilliant. You know, tell the owner that they did a brilliant job, and thanks to InsuranceMarket.ae. And so that to me, once again, you know, even coming here and having a chat with you this morning, just it's good to hear, and it's nice to hear, especially when your personal friends say something good about one of the partners in which you've teamed up with. So thank you.
Yeah, no, very kind of you. And likewise, I should say that, you know, ever since we met, you know, I felt like we're on the same page with everything. You know, we're here for the long term. We're here because we're customer centric. So definitely there was a, you know, a wavelength match, if you like. And so yeah, I'm really excited about, you know, working with Creative Zone and building something big here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To finish off, you know, 10 years from now, what does Creative Zone look like? Is it a similar organization, or how has it changed?
I would say one of the biggest strengths that we have as a team is we are very, very, very agile. I mean, we could shift much quicker than many other companies, and that's what keeps us ahead. That is actually, I believe, has been one of the reasons why we have succeeded so much, is we have been able to adapt to situations, we have been able to cater to change in needs. And when you say 10 years from now, I mean, I cannot guarantee you the landscape, but Dubai will continue to be there, UAE will continue to be there, and I think it will continue to be the hub. It's not going anywhere, it's not shifting locations, right? So will we expand into other regions? Yes, we will, absolutely. Do we have plans to add to the ecosystem? Yes, absolutely we do, and as and when time comes, people will be notified of the same. But we will be here and probably even more ingrained with the government, with the infrastructure out here to support entrepreneurs, whether it's through incubation centers, accelerator programs, venture capitalist programs, and these are the avenues we are now shifting into.
Yeah, because presumably, you know, a couple of years from now, like it is in some other countries, you should be able to set up a company, you know, with a couple of quick clicks, right?
Right.
Online. Yeah. Do you think that's going to happen in Dubai?
I keep saying this to Steve, and it's sort of the look on his face says it all. I'm like, one day, pretty soon, and when I say one day, I mean pretty soon, I would be happy to give out a license for free, because I don't think the value is in giving out a piece of paper or a permit. I believe the value is from that ecosystem and what else you can deliver to that entrepreneur to help them launch, sustain, and grow.
Like your tagline, business setup is just the beginning.
It's just the beginning, absolutely.
You know, like I'm from Australia. I set up a company, I remember, in Australia. I think it was in 95, 96. It was $120.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing here is 10 times.
And 25 years ago.
Yeah, 10 times the price. So yeah, it's definitely coming. You know, we're even investing ourselves into our own systems by giving customers flexibility within the whole setup piece to, you know, go in there, go online, ask for various documents, ask for various support. So it's something which we're building into our own business as well, and you know, you can't stop technology in the future.
Well, Steve, Jigar, this was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.